Hello there, good evening and welcome to Political Lens on Voice of the People Television, VOP. I am your host, Chukwuma Okoro. And in the next 1 hour, we'll be looking at the state of Enugu State from the eyes of someone who once aspired to be the governor of Enugu State. Now, let's bring in our guest. She is Dr. Tina Agu-Onyedike. She's a British-trained lawyer and a woman of many parts. She is from the family of Honorable Justice Nnemeka Agu, former Supreme Court Justice of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. She's a lawyer, former investment banker, leadership expert, and human capital developer, author of over 15 books. She is also a former governorship aspirant in Enugu State under the platform of the PDP. I'm sure we'll spend the next 1 hour if we try to get into the citation of Dr. Tina Agu-Onyedike. So we are not going to delve into that. We are just going to get into the meat of the discussion. Good evening, Dr. Tina Agu-Onyedike, and welcome to this show.
Thank you, Chuma. Glad to have you.
All right, then. Very well. Very well. Good evening once again. Now, let's get into how is the coal city and all the delicacies like abacha, abobo, and okpa, and the rest that make Enugu State unique. Do we still have them around there?
Well, these are delicacies that we eat in Enugu State and abacha, okpa, and the rest of it.
Okay, you still have them available. How affordable are they at this period, especially with inflationary rates?
Well, our God is a great provider. We are people that believe strongly in the provision of God, because He told us in His word that He will provide all our needs according to His riches in glory by Christ Jesus. So if you don't want to have hypertension, you probably need to, believe, come along with me in my faith in God for provision. So I have them in abundance anyway.
All right, then. Thanks very much. It's good to know that we still have those delicacies in Enugu and that God in His infinite mercies is still providing those things for His people. Now, let's get into the meat of the show. Last week Thursday, former military president Ibrahim Babangida launched his long-awaited memoir entitled Journey in Service, which detailed the circumstances surrounding the June 12 debacle. He also said that Abiola won the June 12 election, but added that his erstwhile CDS, that Chief of Defense Staff, Senator Abacha, was the brain behind the annulment. This thing is in the public space and all of that. A lot of people have said, look, no, Babangida has told us lies. A lot of people said, don't forgive him, he has taken responsibility and all of that. Now, I want to briefly, what's your broad reaction to the revelations made by Babangida, especially to the fact that he said that the January 15, 1966 coup was not an Igbo coup because it involved all nationalities. Many Nigerians of different ethnicities, different tribes were involved in that coup. Let's have your broad reaction to Babangida's book and the way that it is trending.
I want to thank God for his life, starting with. I wouldn't want to be biased or have opinion on what other people are saying or thinking about him. From the outset, I have been one of his biggest fans. However, regarding his book launch, that's the journey in service. The journey in service and the annulment, the June 12 annulment. I would say that he may have been prompted by God to write what he has written. And in sincerity and in honesty, I believe, because being a very brave and courageous leader, military leader as he was, I strongly believe that he is stating he has stated the fact and nothing but the fact. And whoever that is doubting the fact that he has stated and strongly believe they have superior facts, they should present it, they should write their own book and present it to us. And again, if they are strongly believing that he has lied against the dead, because I don't think at this age that he should be lying against the dead. A lot of people may have said that it's medicine after death. You understand? But again, it is better late than never. That's my own say. So if anyone is feeling that he has misinformed the people or he has told a lie, I wouldn't want to use that word lie, because at his age and his position as the former military head of state in 1993, when the annulment was effected, the person should challenge him in court with spiritual evidence. That if they don't have any good facts, to write their own back book, and they don't have evidence, stronger or spiritual evidence to counter, to challenge him, they should go to court and challenge him. That's just my stand. Otherwise, he's preparing himself, before God and man, that giving, that preparing himself, as it were, that every time God calls him, he has made right with God and man. Why do I say that? That God himself made us to understand that we should confess our sins one to another. We should repent of the sins, and we should turn to God. And being a Muslim as he is, and being a Christian as I am, this is one of the injunctions, and it's a very difficult thing for somebody to come out openly to confess his sins or evil that he has committed while he was in office. And of course, I commend him for his courage and brevity.
Okay, ma'am, why you are commending him? A lot of people also say that, look, he should have tendered an outright apology, having admitted to have truncated Nigeria's fledgling democracy. Shouldn't he have said, Nigerians, I'm very sorry, rather than saying, I take responsibility? He didn't apologize. He just said, I take responsibility.
When somebody says, I take responsibility, means he has, directly or indirectly apologized. And for gathering a lot of people, both the tormentors, him himself as the tormentor and the tormented, the friends and the foes together, that's a forum for reconciliation. And if somebody has come, because this is one of our biggest tenets as Christians, without offense, there wouldn't be forgiveness. And if somebody has come openly to own up that I have erred, I have, you notice that about life, there's the word mistake. Everyone makes mistake along the line. Even God himself, when he was creating the world, God created heaven and earth. And at the end of the day, the earth was without form and void, full of darkness. And God has to recreate the world. So in another scenario, God created man in his image. And along the way, God himself regretted making man in his image, because man has, you understand, is competing with him and defiling, the means of creation and all that. So God himself regretted that he has, spoiled the world, or that he has destroyed the world with water. And going forward, he said, he repented. He was no longer going to destroy the world with water because of the wickedness of man. Then he reduced the number of years given to man, showing that even God, who created us in his image, made mistake from the outset in the book of Genesis 1, chapter 1. So God created heaven and earth, and the earth was void and full of darkness, and God has to do a recreation. So if God in his mightiness, in his capacity, can make a mistake and own up and rewrite wrongs, you understand how much more man he created in his image. So I believe strongly that this what he did, the book launch at his age, requires commendation, not condemnation.
All right, then. Thanks very much, man. We'll go for a short break, and when we come back, we'll continue with the show. Please stay with us and don't go away.
Do you want your voice to be heard? Do you know that you matter in the scheme of things? The People's Voice, the show where ordinary citizens take center stage. as we discuss the biggest stories that affect you and I. With you in mind, we facilitate lively discussions, debates, and interviews on the topics that matter most to you and I, from social justice to economic empowerment, education to healthcare, governance, and more. Tackling tough topics and amplifying your voice. People's Voice. Mondays through Thursdays, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Join the conversation and make your voice count. The People's Voice. Make your voice count. Are you ready to connect with distinguished Nigerians around the world? The Diaspora Perspective is here to share the views of Nigerians in the diaspora on burning issues.
From the street of New York, the royal cities of London, and the bustling cities of Europe, Voice of the People Television brings to you a roundtable and collage of interesting views from Nigerians in diaspora.
Join the host of the show and some Nigerians in diaspora, Dr. Damages, the flagship, Show, and KJ, as they discuss the experiences, challenges, and triumphs of Nigerians living abroad.
Discussing and analyzing everything from politics, culture, policies, career success, and how Nigerians are staying connected to their roots. Showing every Saturday by 2 p.m. West African Time and 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
The Diaspora Perspective, giving a voice to Nigerians abroad. Join us as we drive into the world of politics through insightful interviews with prominent political figures, both serving and former governors.
All right, welcome back and thanks for staying with us. And if you are just joining us, this is Political Lens on Voice of the People Television, VOP. And we still have our guest, Dr. Tina Agu-Onyedike, a trained lawyer and a politician who is joining us from Enugu State. Good to have you stay back with us, Dr. Tina Onyedike. Now, let's get into, let's talk a bit about party politics. And your party, the PDP, what's going on? What's the infighting all about, especially when the PDP should be serving as a major opposition party, holding the government to account? This internal debacle about party chairmanship and position of secretary, you know, is it not killing the PDP to the gloating of the ruling party, APC? Look at what is happening between Sam Anyanwu and Ude Okoye, series of conflicting court judgments, and the fact that the BOT is not even relying on the court judgment, and they are saying, look, Ude Okoye, you have to go and assume office and all of that. What do you make out of it? Do you think that your party is not killing itself?
My party is what? Okay, let me talk about politics in general. So what is happening in Enugu State, in PDP to be more precise, is not unusual. You know, that's politics for you. And if we must get into, you know, discussing politics, we want to let the world know, or the people observing us, what politics is all about. Politics is a struggle to be in power, struggle to be in control of both human resources and material resources, to be in control of both material and mineral resources. You understand? So that's what politics is all about. So when, in a layman's understanding, so when you hear that somebody is a politician, the person is simply working hard, trying hard to be in control of, you know, to be in power, to be able to control, believing they have the right attitude, they have the right mindset to be in that control, to take care of others and then take care of themselves. What we call, you know, sacrificial leadership. You know, you'll be able to offer sacrificial leadership to people. So, okay, coming to PDP, narrowing it down to PDP as it were, people, there's a lot of carpet movement, as you know. So people is not unusual. It is what you see
sorry,
globally.
ma'am. Sorry,
You know, so people move from one, and even in the banking industry, that I was in the banking industry.
Dr. Agu-Onyedike, can you hear me?
Yes.
You need to move back a bit,
Yes.
because your position is cutting the frame. We can't see your face fully. You need to step back. Okay, it's okay now. You can talk into the camera. Okay, you can talk into. I'm okay. Like this. Go ahead. Yes, it's fine. It's fine. Go ahead.
Okay, so having said that, politics is all about, you know, that is permanent interest. What can I get? So if I am not getting what I want from this, I move on. You understand? Until you get what, you know, what you are looking for, the bargain you want for yourself and your people. So otherwise, people go to where they are celebrated and not where they are tolerated. So having said that, I strongly believe that, you know, movements from one party to another, from PDP to APC, from Labour Party to APC, is given. It is it's not something unusual. So people go to where they believe they will get something better than what is being presently offered to them. That's what I believe about APC. And regarding my governor, as it were, Peter Mbah,
sorry, ma'am. Well. Don't worry. We'll get to Peter Mbah. We'll get to Enugu State. We'll get to the state of Enugu State. We are still talking about. I mean, the national.
Okay.
We are talking. I'm asking about
the movement.
Not even the movement. Not even the movement. I'm talking about the internal crisis bedeviling the PDP, especially with regard to the issue of national chairmanship and national secretary. That is more like tearing the party apart. Is it something that PDP can't handle? Because it looks like the internal wrangling is killing the PDP, and they are not playing the real opposition that they are supposed to be doing. Instead of what they are concentrating more in the internal crisis than being a very vibrant opposition.
That's not usual. It's not something unusual. Even in APC, you see the same wrangling among in Lagos. You see the senator, you know, the speaker and the deputy speaker. You understand? There's the same wrangling going on in the same party. So it's not just about PDP. It's virtually even in what is it called? LP. That's Labour Party. You see a lot of people internal wrangling and fighting and struggling for one thing or the other. You understand? So it is not unusual.
Okay. Now, you lived and schooled in the UK, and you lived in the UK for a very long time. Do they have this kind of internal wranglings between the Labour and the Conservatives, the Tory and the Whigs and all of that? Do they have such internal wranglings?
Well, I would say yes. I said it's virtually everywhere, not just in UK, in America. So when, for instance, when you know, I am a strong member, a vital member of the Conservative Party, when David Cameron came on board, you understand. So there is still the same fight among them that gave rise to him at a point, you know, because people don't appreciate what they have until they lose it. So Cameron, after, you know, with all the contribution to development and all that, they felt he tendered his resignation and left. You understand? So the same way that happened to that's Boris Johnson. Boris Johnson is another leader that we all cherish so much because he's so much boisterous and he has a lot of zeal and determination. Up till the time he won British, you know, he won the exit from, you know, the British had to exit from what is the European, you know, you're saying. So it is common, it's usual. It is something not unusual. That's just the point that I'm making. So I come again when even in what is it called, United Kingdom, in America, the same thing is applicable there. People fight among themselves. They fight, you know, within among themselves as party members, and they fight, you know. So human beings, I just really don't understand. They're insatiable, and they keep, you know, because whether they're fighting for freedom or fighting for right, You understand? So if you're looking for peace, you prepare for war. That's what.
All right, then. Before we come back to Enugu State, I'd like to ask you this personal question, if you don't mind.
So it can be internal, even in the home. People fight for one thing or the other. You understand? So it's not unusual.
All right. Now, before we come back to Nigeria and Enugu State in particular, let me ask you this very personal question. I want to ask you a personal question. As a student in the UK, were you active in student union politics? And after that, while you worked in the UK, were you involved in any form of politics with the Conservative Party? Did you at any point in time contest for any seat, be it borough, county, or parliamentary seat, or any of such things? Did you at any point in time?
No, I never did. But somehow I have a unique personality that even when I don't contest for anything, like in Buckingham, University of Buckingham, where I attended to, I attended. I was made the school's celebrity. I became the school. I made the school celebrity, not because I was the president of probably Nigerian Student Union Association, no, but because they said that I am the only person in the school that can make other people to look up. Otherwise, if I am not in the school, that people would have been looking down and becoming downcast. So I was equally given discounted scholarship because they said I was the one carrying virtually everyone along. You understand? I said I have a personable, lovable, personality. And since the inception of Buckingham, University of Buckingham in 1973, they said there was nobody had ever, you understand, made the standard, set the pace and standard that I set in. But in fact, when I'm passing, they call me our superstar. All of the white people, the black, the Asians, and all that. I was celebrated. Even when I was telling them, please, I don't need this celebration. But they insisted, and they organized, students themselves organized a party in the 2006 for me, February 2000, during my birthday, and celebrated me as it were. You understand? And made me the school senior, made me celebrate. You understand?
Now let's come back. We'll get into your political ambition here in Nigeria. Now let's come back to Enugu State, and the question would be, what is the state of state in terms of giving out the dividends of democracy to the citizens? I mean, the state of Enugu State in terms of deployment of infrastructure, health services, education, and the building of roads and all of that, because we understand that Peter Mbah commissioned what he calls smart schools in Enugu State. Those things, are that functional? What's your general assessment of Peter Mbah's nearly 2 years in government? Can you give us an assessment? What do you think?
As much as I'm a competitor, but it's good to tell the truth. When you see truth, you see what. I must, I commend Peter Mbah. You understand? Giving just within a space of 2 years, he has been able to demonstrate his work as a genuine and true leader. You understand? Why do I say this? Because I live close by the government house, Independence Layout, and I pass from time to time, and I see how our roads are sparkling. You understand? And I see the ICC, that's International Conference Center, that was abandoned during the time of Senator Namane, as it were. You understand? Other governors came and passed. But again, if you come in there, you will give him a clap of it. You understand? It's a wow factor. So not just about because I'm an observer, so I like observing and I like working hand in hand, whether I am appointed or I'm not appointed, given any political appointment. I appreciate what he has been doing in Enugu State. The roads are sparkling, clean and sparkling, Then we have the schools. He's turning the school around with digital. We're turning around security. A lot of, you understand, with a lot of cars, over 150 cars with modern security apparatus has been installed, to monitor and to, help to deal with the challenges of insecurity in Enugu State. So it's a clap offering. So give give and take. I'll give you at the moment 70%. You understand? Comparatively with what other governors are doing in other 36 states, other 36 governors of the state. So I believe that he's doing, and if given the opportunity for the remaining 2 years, he will do wonders in Enugu State.
Okay, ma'am. I will stay with you on the issue of Peter Amba and what he has done in Enugu State. A lot of people, these things are extended into the hinterland. What is happening in Enugu North? Places like in Soka, places like Isia,
Yes.
places like in Soka, the part that borders the Benue State and all of that, and parts of Nkanu area where he comes from, parts of Ogu, the Enugu West and all of that. Is it just concentrating in Enugu City? These things are they extended to other parts of Enugu State? I would like to know. We like to know that.
Yes, well, again, yes, I understand where you're coming from. You understand? Rome was never built in a day. You understand? So he said charity begins at home. So he's starting small and growing bigger. So like I've told you what he has been able to achieve. There are others yet to be done. So given the remaining 2 years in his office, I'm sure he will reach the rich and make the reachable reachable. There has been insecurity, comments about insecurities in that Suka area or area, and then, like I said, he's putting a lot of modern apparatus, security apparatus in place to reduce. We wouldn't say there wouldn't be criminality, no matter how strong a government is, even in all these developed countries. You understand? But again, he's drastically reducing insecurity. You understand? To normalcy in Enugu State. So, and he should be given with just a space of 2 years in office. He's been able to do what I have said.
I like the fact that you brought in the issue of I like the fact that you brought in the issue of insecurity. About 10 days ago, there was this allegation out there in the papers that look, the governor gave out certain 30 billion naira to Ehamufu elders to give out their land to Fulani people. How authentic is that information? Do you know anything about it?
Okay. The issue of Fulani, there's a lot of rumors that cannot be substantiated. You understand? So I am not in the House of Assembly, that's a State House of Assembly today, that there has been a bill passed on that, or that there has not been any bill passed. You understand? But again, the issue of giving land to Fulani and with the constant clashing, giving them room for constant clashing with the farmers is part of the causes of insecurity in Enugu State, as it were. But then, as a Nigerian, I don't think there's anything wrong with herdsmen being given land, provided they're not giving them free. Just like if some of us, our traders move to the northern part of the country, they pay for a particular land and they trade in tires and motor parts and the rest of them. So we are free, we are Nigerians, and we should, there should be freedom of movement, freedom of association, freedom of interaction. You understand? So if people now begin to say because they are Fulanis, they should be, but again, we don't encourage the Fulanis, that's spoiling the farmers' stuff. So they should be given and given ranch, is it what you call it, ranchers, or they should help them to build a ranch where they can study and then take care of. But again, I wouldn't want to say that he cannot handle it at the moment. He can still, look into whatever that is the problem of insecurity.
Okay, I think essentially what the people are against is that, look, anytime you give these people land, they stay, they don't leave, and beyond that, they also destroy farm crops and cash crops of people. I think that is the reason why people are apprehensive. But you also are aware that we have the forest guards in Enugu. How far have they gone in checking the activities of herdsmen? Do you have an idea about that?
How long have they gone with
the forest guards? You are aware of the forest guards?
The forest
guards. The forest guards. Okay, you are not aware.
No, I'm not aware of that particular one.
Okay, I think it was Ifeanyi Agu-Onyedike that established the forest guards who go into the hinterland, into the farms to check the activities of herdsmen. Now, since you are not aware of that, we'll leave that one alone. Now, let's talk about your political ambition. Now, you aspire to be governor of Enugu State. What was your experience in the lead up to the primaries? You know, did you at any point feel intimidated? Okay, just tell us about your experience. What was your experience, you know, from the primaries up until the time that you dropped out? What were your experiences?
When I came back from the United Kingdom in 2015, August 2015, I was not trying to vie for any political appointment, as it were, but somebody who was a governorship aspirant, a lawyer for that matter. So he gathered our names and put us in one platform and asking us to support him. You know, okay, one other person whom I've never met saw my profile and contacted me privately and said he was going to pay for me to take a form and go in for that state house of assembly. So I had a good laugh because I wasn't looking in that direction at the moment. But again, I had to ask my husband his opinion, and we had my uncle who had worked with the commissioner who had worked on that. I called him again to ask him because the guy had paid. You understand that? Because I didn't want to take somebody's money and at the end of the day not be able to, not disappoint him. So I had to take an independent counseling from people who are already in government under His Excellency Governor Ugwuanyi. My uncle said that I should get in touch with Governor Ugwuanyi and ask him whether there has been, is there a position for me in that area. And so when I went to see some other person, one or two persons, Professor Wala, and we put a call to Ugwuanyi, Governor Ugwuanyi as it were, and he said somebody is already there for 4 years. And that I should just, the governorship race. So having done the governorship race, because he said I am new in Nigeria, I am new in Enugu, and that not too many people know who I am, and that I should start campaigning and introducing myself to the people. So I opened a platform, got the cream la cream, personalities in Nigeria who supported me, the guys, the boys, the women. A woman should go for us. So they campaigned for me, and as it were, that's how I came into, you understand? So still, we're still there. Well, I was promised a political appointment because I have contributed immensely towards the propagating of PDP in Enugu State. Well, I was called for interview, and I was told that political appointment would be given to me, but up till this moment, it has not happened. But what hasn't happened may happen tomorrow, and all that. So we continue to work in unity and in togetherness, because I believe that together we can, and together we are stronger. So that's the experience that I had.
Okay, let's stay with your experience.
It was beautiful. It was wonderful.
Very beautiful. Very beautiful.
I was campaigning. I had what is it called? I had MPA people that came to. Pardon me?
No, I said let's stay with your experience. Let's stay with your experience because I want to ask you.
All the way from Abuja.
Okay. Now, politics is traditionally played by.
So that's the experience that I am young. I'm still within my experience. The experience is that I was offered a lot of support by even NTA. You understand? All that media, free of charge. They came to my house and did a coverage of me. They did a documentary of me without charging me any penny. That's an amazing support, and that's an amazing experience that I got while I was campaigning for governorship.
All right.
being the first female governorship aspirant in Enugu State. You know, since
exactly the
inception
point.
of
Now
democracy
you have come to where I wanted to meet you. As the first female governorship aspirant in Enugu State. By the way, you contested under the PDP, right? At any were you at any point in time intimidated by
PDP?
Yes. Were you at any point intimidated by the men folk? Was there any form of resentment from the men folk concerning your ambition?
Was there anyone?
Any form of intimidation
Can you
or
take it again?
was there any form of intimidation or resentment?
Nobody intimidated me. Yeah, you know, I was not. Because it's good to say the truth as it is. You know, there was no violence, no intimidation. You understand? So we were working together. I was told what to do to continue to campaign and you understand, propagate the good work of PDP, which of course I did to the best of my abilities and surpassing and set place and standard and all that. You know, I got a lot of, you know, like Radio Nigeria came to my house. A lot of all these media, you know, came to support me. So there was never any intimidation or any violence or something like that. So that the only part there is that having worked together with them, you know, what is good for the geese is equally good for the gender. And I was promised a political appointment that hasn't been given to me. And well, I'm still watching and waiting.
Okay. Now let's talk about women supporting women. You know what you people normally say, women supporting women. What form of support did you get from?
Support women.
Yes. What form of support did you get from the women folk? Did they rally around you? And what form of support? Was there any form of resentment?
Yes.
I keep going back to that word, resentment. Was there anyone either from the men folk or from the women folk?
Yes, the women supported me, like I said. Like I said earlier, before now, it was a woman in Abuja that sent NTA in Enugu to come and cover me. So they've done that about 6 times consecutively. They came to my house and did a documentary of me. They came to my office place and did a documentary of me. They called me to their office at Independence Lab and did a documentary of me. They came again during my book. You know, so there was massive support. There was support from PRC, Queen of the Rosary College on the school I attended while I was, in secondary school. They too came. They called me. They did a bit of organization at the Cathedral Church of Good Shepherd. They organized a forum. They organized a forum a support forum for me, the youth. You know, even the Enugu youth. You know, the Enugu youth members. They too organized a party for me in a hotel at Independence Layout and all that. So I had massive support. I'm still believing God that I'm not giving in. I'm not giving up.
Okay.
So,
now, talking
about ambition.
Exactly, a legitimate ambition. Now, talking about that particular election, which zone do you come from? Which senatorial zone do you come from?
Enugu North.
Enugu North. Okay. Now, when you went into that, didn't you consider the fact that the governor then, Agu-Onyedike, was also from Enugu North? What was the possibility of you replacing your own brother as governor?
No, because he's not. Agu-Onyedike is going. He's on his way going. We're now, getting in. So the possibility of me coming in as a woman, because as a woman, a capable woman, not just a woman, you understand, and a woman that, is exposed, has all-round leadership, transformational leadership experience, both nationally and internationally. You understand? So I believe that I have a very strong chance of winning the governorship election in Enugu State. And essentially, when the constitution of the country, supports women to not to be, you understand, that provides for equal. That's gender equality. Okay. So based on that gender equality, and the men haven't been in position since 1999 up to that period of time. That's giving 25 years gap in you understand. So women, it is now, I believe strongly that what is good for the geese is equally good for the gender.
Okay,
and
okay,
that
okay.
the person
Dr.
that may
Onyedike,
come
Dr.
into that
Onyedike,
is myself.
Dr. Onyedike,
Yes.
do you think that Enugu State people are ready for a female governor at this moment?
Yes, because during the time I was campaigning, women, there were placards everywhere. Where there's some other association of women that called me and put me in their platform and all that. So they kept going to Lion Building, that's the Enugu State, to say Tina should go. Women, you understand, give women a chance. That women. That's Kawai J. That means let a woman go for us. You understand? The youth are saying let a woman go for us. Let Tina go for us. Radio Nigeria, let Tina go for us. NTA, let Tina go for us. So it was just like let Tina go for us. Let Tina go for us. There's billboards here and there in Enugu State. So even some women brought money. They supported me financially to bring the money that they use in building billboards here and there and saying a woman should go. It is our turn to go, right? We really believe in the constitution of Nigeria that says there should be gender equality. So federal government has to look into this aspect of the marginalization of women in non-discrimination. You understand? So that's it.
Okay. Now that do we expect you to take a shot at the governorship anytime soon, probably in 2027?
Pardon me?
I mean, what will you take another shot at the governorship in 2027 or anytime soon?
Of course, by God's grace, is good. You understand? Because our time has come, and that time is now. You understand? As much as I praise him back for what he's doing, but I believe that he, too, looking at it critically, may throw in the towel, and you understand that there will be a peaceful transition, and he will support a woman to go. You understand? Because what is good for the kids is equally good for the gender. You understand?
Okay.
So that's it.
Okay, Dr. Onyedike, do you think that given the rotational arrangement between Enugu North, yes, Enugu South, and Enugu Central, do you think that if Mba completes his 2 terms in office, that will be in 2031, that the governorship will roll back to Enugu North, where you come from, instead of going to Enugu West?
Well, like I said, it's no longer about Enugu North, Enugu West, Enugu Central. It's not about, that's not the Enlightenment campaign. The Enlightenment campaign is that a woman should, wherever the woman is coming from this Enugu North, Enugu South, Enugu Central, there should be massive support for a woman to go. And that woman is me for now, because I have not seen any other person really, throwing weight and desiring to. And probably because of cultural beliefs, and you understand the norm that a woman's place is in the kitchen. The days and time, not in this 25th century, as it were.
All right, Dr. Onyedike, there is this general perception, about the politics of Enugu State, that it seems to be devoid of any form of opposition by political parties, as the PDP seems to have held sway since 1999. What is responsible for that? Since 1999, there's been no visible opposition. The LP came out strongly after the elections, they went down. Nobody is hearing about LP in Enugu State again. We also understand that some people who were elected on the platform of the Labour Party have also defected to the PDP in Enugu State. And the APC is more like, except Agu-Onyedike, the Minister of Science and Technology, who makes a few statements here and there, and now and then. I mean, nobody talks about opposition. There is no vibrant opposition in Enugu State politics. What is responsible for that?
Well, what can I say? Is a strong belief in a given party. A lot of Enugu, when I came back, I have option. I have option to join APC, but somehow because PDP is dominated, that's the Enugu state. That PDP is dominated by people of indigenous of Enugu state. So I said to myself, okay, let me key in. I kept supporting, propagating in my own little ways to support Governor Agu-Onyedike. Now the bar is coming. We're still in it together.
You say you have the option of joining APC. Will you join the APC out of political expediency or because you are convinced that the APC is doing well? Dr. Onyedike, can you hear me?
Like I said, people move from one end to what has beginning may have an end, or what has beginning must have an end one time. So PDP, if they don't give me a chance to become, pardon me, I can hear you.
No, go ahead. Land on your thought before I come out with my question.
What are you? Chuma, can you repeat yourself, please?
No, what I said is that you said you have the option of joining the APC. I said you have the option of joining the APC.
Yeah, so what I'm basically saying is that I believe strongly.
Go ahead. Land on your thought.
Yes, I have the option of, because like I said earlier, you said wrangling here and there. I have the option of moving from, that's what is called carpet crossing. While I was in the banking industry, if they give me, that's a negotiation. If they negotiate with you and give you a better platform, you move from your bank to, you understand? So the same way, it is a permanent interest, not about the party, not about PDP or APC. For instance, if PDP, for instance, doesn't want to, negotiate with me and step aside for me to become the next governor of Enugu State, taking place, that means me as a lioness going to dwell in the lion house, you understand, at Enugu government house, Enugu. APC, I can navigate to APC and APC.
Okay, now my question is, the question I asked you is that, are you going to APC? The opportunity that is coming from APC, is it out of political expediency, or are you convinced that the APC has done well? What is your assessment in 1 minute, because we are running out of time? What is your assessment of President Tinubu's policies, the impact they have made on Nigerians? Quick one.
Okay. Oh, it's you understand? Well, I am a strong believer in renewed hope agenda. You understand? Why do I say that? I see his development agenda that has been put in place. For instance, his establishment of that's autonomous local government chairman, autonomy, or giving the local government chairman autonomy. That's the 774 local government autonomy, and the regional development commission. So just those two establishments has given me a renewed hope, a renewed assurance that he cannot walk alone. He has a very strategic agenda for economic booming in Nigeria.
All right then. Dr. Onyedike, we have
given autonomy.
Okay, we have 2 minutes. We just have 2 minutes left.
He needs a task force to ensure.
Okay, we have just 2 minutes left. I want to ask you this question before we leave. What would you have done differently if you were elected the governor of Enugu State? Respond in just 1 minute. That's
a very good question. So if I were elected the governor, it's not penny will be I fund within my position as the governor of Enugu State to any party is that I will ensure that there is steady electricity, because whatever you're doing and there's epileptic electricity or power supply, that means the economy will continue to dwindle and go down. So I will ensure within a space of 4 years that electricity will become, just like where I was coming from, United Kingdom. I stayed in UK for 12 years and there has never been a day, an hour or a second that they took light. So that is where people who are meaning to progress economically. That's what they do. And of course, our institute, educate, that's
All right
online
then.
university,
Okay.
making sure that there's a repatriation of foreign
Okay.
currencies for foreign students, using my Everest Leadership Business School and
All
the
right.
YATI,
All right, thank you very
making
much.
sure that it's
This
converted
is
to
where we
online
have to,
university in
unfortunately,
Nigeria.
this is where we have to wrap up the show. Big thanks to you, Dr. Tina Agu-Onyedike, a lawyer, former investment banker, and leadership and human capital developer. She's also the author of over 15 books and former governorship aspirant in Enugu, the PDP. Thanks for coming on this show. And, that is how far we can go on Political Lens. Political Lens returns to you same time tomorrow at 6 p.m. Please do well to join us. And I am Chukwuma Okoro. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you once again.